Hello and welcome again to the Humminbird Hub. We are stewing things up and we are again having another interesting podcast, which I know for sure will be interesting because we have Anna Cortesi here with us, a lifestyle nutrition coach. Yes, there's a lot of interesting subjects and that will be related to that I can't wait to dig into.
Okay.
So Anna, would you like to introduce yourself to our...
Okay, so yes, my name is Anna Cortesi. I'm a lifestyle nutrition coach, a dietitian, clinical nutritionist, and as I like to call myself, wellness and nutrition expert.
Wow, what an interesting subject. How did you choose this profession?
Well, it all started from my personal experiences since I was a kid. So I used to have trouble with my eating habits. I used to lose weight all the time from the age of 8 years old. So then I had to battle with my eating habits. Later, I've developed some form of eating disorders, anorexia and bulimia nervosa. I've been through extreme methods of weight loss, diets, veganism, and lots of different things. Until I decided that I had to study something like it. And over the years, through my studies, I've discovered that this is my purpose. Yeah.
How interesting. So you basically had struggles, you had real struggles in relationship to that, and you managed to transform them into something that can help other people.
Exactly, yes. So that's the actual story. Me trying to get over my own food problems and emotional problems with food because I used to overeat. I had the emotional overeating battles. And through the years, I've managed to get over it. And then I use my own methods, especially with women, because I can relate to them, on how to fix their relationship with food, their emotions, and their body image.
How interesting that you actually say relationship with food.
Yeah.
Because it really is a relationship,
There
right?
is, definitely, yes. Food is love.
Yeah, food is love.
Food is love. Yeah.
And how do you connect the emotions to food? You just said food is love. Is that how you saw it or how you see it?
Everybody sees it like this.
You think?
Yeah, subconsciously we see food as love. The way we eat and the way we offer food to people from the moment that we're infants, okay? Or even before, from the moment that we're in our mother's womb, we're being fed by her. So this is the way of the bodies connect, and she's giving the love to the baby. And later on with breastfeed, and this is the connection. We feel the warmth. We feel this sensitive moment. So we start from there. We start understanding that nourishment, food, is love. And then it goes on while growing up as kids. We like to be nourished by our parents, especially by our mom, grandma, aunt. So we connect everything that has to do with love with food. When we're happy, we're eating something. When we're good students, we're given chocolate or ice cream. So there's a huge connection to food and our emotions.
Interesting how you have linked mother, grandmother, or aunt. So all women.
It's mostly
to feeding.
Yeah.
So is it true that you subconsciously would associate women giving food with love?
Yes, I would say it's like the earth, which is nourishing people, from the plants, the animals and everything. So I always like to connect earth, nature to the feminine energy, I would say, because it's all connected.
Yes, yeah. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. But so if we go to the root of it, so here's the emotion. What kind of the emotion are they satisfying, or what kind of emotion will give birth to wanting to get love through food? That you think, what was your experience?
It could be a happy emotion, like sharing. So I'm very happy right now because I had the win, and I want to eat food and enjoy and celebrate. Or it could be exactly the opposite, that I'm devastated from something that happened to my life, and in order to replace this emptiness and these bad feelings that I'm feeling, I have to eat something. And this is the thing with emotional overeating and people who tend to feed their emotions, as we say, this is what they do. There's something empty, they're missing something. It could be a relationship, it could be anything that has to do with their feelings. So they eat to fill the gap.
So it's like taking that from the outside sources and filling it up, but it doesn't last.
It doesn't last. It's just 5
It's
minutes,
just
10 minutes.
immediate gratification.
Exactly.
And then more often than not, those people who overeat feel awful afterwards.
It's like shopping for women. Yeah, doesn't last. You just feel nice as you do it, but then you spend so much money.
Right.
Yes.
And then you feel bad.
Really bad.
So then tell me, what would be the way to even out that relationship? That it becomes, I'm assuming that the goal of lifestyle nutritionists is to actually even out that relationship so that it doesn't affect them in the future.
Yes.
How do you do that?
You know, at the end of the day, I came to realize that it doesn't have to do with food from a point onwards. It has to do with emotions. So first of all, you have to work with the emotions of, let's say, my client. So the way I'm working through, although I'm a dietitian and clinical nutritionist, I see food as medicine for them, definitely. But I like to start a bit backwards. So it's very good to know why they overeat, why they're obese, why they're overweight.
How do you get to that? Because as they say, the presenting problem is never the problem. How do you get to the bottom of that?
Through coaching, through going through their lifestyle, and it all starts with food. Most of the times people deprive themselves from several foods, like sweets, snacks, savory snacks, chocolate, pizzas, and fast food. But when you start categorizing different foods and you put them into lists, that's the worst thing to do. But this is how we've been grew up. This is what we've been told, that we have the good foods and the bad foods. So when we're eating something that everybody else assumes it's bad, we feel bad.
So then you straight away assign that emotion to a food that you eat, and then it makes you feel a certain way about yourself.
Yes.
About your choices, about your body, right?
Exactly. So you have to actually stop categorizing food and stop labeling, putting labels on yourself and on different foods. So what I do with my clients through coaching, and I would say at some points mentorship, is going through their daily lifestyle, the foods they love, the foods they eat, the way they're eating them, why they're eating them, and also people around them. So we go through their whole lifestyle, and we, I would say, decorate or design something new that suits them, that's still nice and flexible, and most of all realistic, something that they can actually follow and not just a fad diet that has an expiry date.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like a psychologist, trainer type of thing, because you, as I would imagine, you would have to kind of like navigate them emotionally.
Yes, but always through food. I'm not a psychologist. I talk through experience, and this is why I love working with women, because I'm a woman myself and I've been through a lot with my body image and my food options and eating disorders. So I tend to feel, the empathy for my clients. And it's always good to start with food, because food is a type of control. If you can control what you're eating without depriving yourself, so having whatever you like without having to suffocate, okay, then you actually have an overall control in your lifestyle, and it starts from there. Because if you can control your eating and you're fine with it, you're happy with it, then you lose weight, you feel better, you have more energy, you have more confidence, and then everything changes. Your relationship might change, your sex life might change, the way you go out, from the clothes you're wearing. So it's all connected. So this is why I like to start with food, which is my profession, but of course it's connected to emotional coaching as well.
So when you said lifestyle nutrition coach, what do you mean about the lifestyle? So I understand the food part, but you mentioned also like people that are around. Is there a way that you can somehow detoxify people from the people that are around them so that they feel better about themselves, or how does that work?
No, but when people tend to listen to other people that are not experts, they always feel that they're doing something wrong. So what I advise my clients is to stop listening to everyone else and do something that is focused on their lifestyle, because everybody's different. So let's say that a nutrition plan or a lifestyle nutrition for you will not work for your friend, because from your psychology, your experiences, your emotional well-being, to your working times, to your flexibility in eating, to your taste buds, to everything is different. So we have to go through that if you want this to be realistic and sustainable.
It's almost like you're creating like a tailor-made manual.
It's always tailor-made.
For that person's
Exactly.
lifestyle, for the
And
person's
not just
body.
that, we go through it on a daily basis.
So you adjust it if it needs
On
to.
a daily basis, because I have this connection with my clients every day, so they're never left alone, and they can always come back to me and adjust things without having to focus on specific foods, on specific diet, let's say, which is the worst thing they can do, like fixed plans. Flexibility,
Because it doesn't give them that feeling of freedom, right?
Exactly.
To choose.
Exactly.
There is speaking about like manuals for the body. The other day I was offered this DNA test, which is just with a swab, and they give you, after like a couple of months, they give you a book like this thick. And through studying your DNA, then they know what kind of foods are good for you, what you're predestined for, what what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat. Which I think, I mean, it's a very costly exercise, but I think it's quite a good like the Bible to really just have and just go to.
It's good, but it's still not specific. It's very general. What it does, this test, is it's actually what you said, what you're predestined to. So the chances for you having high blood pressure, what are the chances, or the chances of you developing diabetes. And then what it does, it gives you some options of how to include, let's say, more whole grains in your diet. If you're more, let's say, able to develop something like an illness or something. Or if you have more like cancerous chances, eat more antioxidants, so that it gives you this list of antioxidants which suggests, but nothing more. It's not something tailor-made, and definitely it's not something that you should go through without taking into your emotional well-being as well.
So do you create recipes for them?
Yeah.
It's like love recipes.
Could be love recipes.
You could easily call it that.
It could be anything, but I really like to focus on the childhood foods and childhood memories, or the foods that we've all been through while we grew up.
So you literally recreate the childhood, and that way you are healing perhaps the trauma that happened in the childhood around specific foods or specific feelings
and specific
emotions.
ages, which is the 8 to 9.
Oh, is that so?
That's the age. Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. That's what I've read too, and that most of the cases who psychologically and emotionally they started to lose it somewhere. It all starts from 8, let's say, to 10 years old. That something happened in that child's life that affected them so bad. Most of the people don't even remember, but those who do, it affects them so bad that it changes everything, nutrition, body-wise, for the rest of their lives.
It's like a traumatic experience that then...
Yes. It could be an insult from a grown-up for their body or their food. It could be someone bullying them or having, let's say, laughing about their weight. It could be anything traumatic, maybe not connected with food at all. So parents fighting, breakups, things like that. And then those children become grown-ups that are affected at some point, and it relates to their eating habits too, because they start, in order to find the love they're missing, they start to eat. And the consequences is that they start gain weight, and then they can manage it.
And how do you feel that it is different for women than it is for men, considering you are focusing on women themselves?
There are men out there that need this as well.
Yeah.
But I find it rare. I find it very rare because men, they don't express themselves that much. So they're more likely to hold everything inside. When women are more likely to express because, body image and women and beauty and, social media and generally media, we focus more on the female body. So it's a lot more easier for a woman to be affected than a man. I'm not saying that men are not. It's just that the percentage is much more for women.
I see. But psychology-wise, it's like what you said, men are more likely to keep it inside and women are more likely to express it. Now, if they're keeping it inside, I would imagine that's something that then affects them with maybe the feelings of self-worth or some kind of, it's going to be an internal dialogue of some sort, because we all have a dialogue, but it's just, like you said, men are not so likely to express it and women are more likely to express it. So you have obviously found the narrative that is the language, the emotional language, and that I'm understanding has come from you knowing yourself well enough. So having to have gone through all these traumas, have healed them within you, having gotten the essence of it that you are now, spreading to this world. And well done to you. And
Thank you.
Yeah, I really do wish you all the best because you are, on one of those paths that assists others in getting out of the darkness, let's say. Because what is an eating disorder, right? It's like a loop.
It is.
When they're getting, tell me a little bit more about that, because as I'm understanding, they are getting certain need satisfaction from keeping themselves in that loop of whatever it is, bulimia or it is whatever other these eating disorders they are. To break away from that loop must be like
yeah. The worst one is orthorexia, which is a kind of a new eating disorder, but you can see it everywhere. So orthorexia is the eating disorder that gets you to do everything correctly. So not having any foods that may harm you, like sugary foods, or not having fried foods at all, not because you don't like them, but because you're scared of them, or exercising a lot at an extreme, or not consuming any food that has no nutritional benefit. So focusing on your health and body.
Okay.
Yes, but at the same time, at extremes, it can be very harmful.
In which way?
You might end up eating more emotionally, and breaking the circle of eating healthy, feeling depressed, not feeling satisfied because some foods that could give you this satisfaction, you're just avoiding them, and putting extra pressure on yourself to be perfect, to eat perfectly, to work out on a daily basis, even if you're tired. So not listening to yourself and your body, but trying to be perfect and trying to keep it up. It's a form of orthorexia, which is, it is an eating disorder.
Wow, you know, now that you describe it.
You know a lot of people who do that, exactly.
How
Yes.
do you treat that?
Through me, it could be.
You like the
because-
answer to
Yeah, because I strive to explain balance. And balance doesn't have to do with eating totally healthy foods all the time, because whatever it's good for your body doesn't mean that it's good for your mind. And it's connected again. So emotional health with physical health. Everything should be balanced.
Balance. That's a very big word.
Yeah.
It's not very easy to achieve.
You never achieve balance. You're just trying to. But there's no balance as a word, as a saying, but there's always trying to balance things out to feel that you're aligned.
So how I would see it is that balance is no conflict within, no conflict inside. So it's like not having that push and pull, the tug of wars, which we often might have between our rational mind and our heart, between our physical needs and our mind. You know, say, perhaps like maybe what you notice quite often is, well, the physical body wants one thing, but the mind tells it another thing. So say for the physical body craves for, I don't know what it might be craving for sugar, for comfort, for whatever. It's because it's a biochemical reaction, right? It's that need. And then they've got the mind saying, no, it's wrong, it's bad. There's the labeling coming on. This is something that you can see in everything.
But you're coming into terms.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the person. And this is why it comes to their lifestyle. So the physical part of wanting chocolate, let's say, or something sugary, it could be because of many reasons. Because you're starving yourself, or you haven't had anything sweet for ages and it's coming up like that. It could be because you haven't eaten for 4-6 hours and your blood sugar level is really low. So that's the physical part, which we're also working with it. The emotional part, the mental part, is where you deprive yourself from this chocolate or these sugary foods, and then you actually want to eat it emotionally. You want to binge on it. So it depends on the person, depends on why you want it.
So basically any kind of deprivation would eventually lead to obsession.
Yes.
Yes. Interesting. Very interesting. What would be your take on juicing? I've done this like 3-day juicing thing, and I thought I was going to eat wallpaper because it was really tough and it was hard days at work. So like we did like 6 juices per day of all the different kinds. We were more or less okay, but I think I started to see like a white tunnel towards
well, juicing is perfect. I mean, I love juicing, but it depends on why you're doing it. So if you are aiming to have surgery and you want your system to get lighter, it's a good thing to do for 2-3 days. If you want to lose weight and you can handle it for 3 or 4, 5 days, again, it's perfect. But then someone should guide you on how not to put the weight back and how to slowly implement normal food back to your diet.
Yeah, because after you've deprived yourself, let's put it, detoxified yourself. We have to be careful how we're labeling, right? So after you've detoxified yourself for 3 days, then I remember it's like this feeling, I just want to eat.
Exactly. So that's the deprivation mode on, and then you want to
do obsession.
Binge. Exactly. Yeah. So maybe you need a professional to guide you through on how to do it. But I wouldn't suggest to someone who's an emotional eater to go and start juicing as a method of detoxing or weight loss. So you have to see who you're talking to. I can't get someone who's eating fast food on a daily basis and put them on a juicing diet for 3 or 5 days and expect them to see results. They will see results. Of course, they'll lose some weight, but the after effect is going to be that they're going to put it all back because they will overeat. Definitely they will overeat. And I will do even more harm to them because I will create the feeling that they're not good enough and that they failed again and that they're not good enough. They can't do it. And that's a very wrong feeling to give to your client.
Sure.
You're supposed to help them go through what they're going through and give them solutions that will be realistic and sustainable in the long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just short-term fixes.
Oh, that's it. It's really sustainable, sustainable plan. About maybe 5-6 years ago, I went to this presentation of one lady who, for 25 years, hasn't eaten or drank anything. This lady calls herself breatharian, right? So she actually absorbs prana. So she actually like opens herself up to an energy field, and she kind of like, that's how she describes it, she kind of feeds herself off of it. So she looks absolutely normal. She swears by it because she was so overtaken by this mission to save the world from world hunger. And she kept on wondering, how am I going to do this? How can we not be dependent on the resources, right?
I've never heard this case.
Yeah.
It sounds very, very, very strange.
Yeah. Well, this lady has managed to do that, and she swears by it, and she says the more people would do it, the better they feel, the better,
Okay.
So it's almost like giving it a different extreme where, You don't depend on food at all.
You can't. It's human anatomy. You can't survive without food. You can't live without food. You'll die.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So
maybe next time I'll bring her in and you guys can talk.
yeah, maybe I can, I don't know, go through what she's doing and yeah.
Imagine she turns you into a breatharian, then you won't be
I could
nutritionist
never.
anymore.
I love food, and I respect the
Food.
connection with food, and I try not to deprive myself from anything.
That's a nice way. So this is your balance.
Yes.
Now tell me, what kind of developments do you have happening for yourself that brings that coaching practice of yours or that message of yours out? What
Developments in terms of academic
not as much. I would like to know more of, can people book a session with you? Do you have maybe some books, or what are you planning on doing with this?
Okay.
Because I think the world would benefit from somebody like you, right?
Yes, definitely. So yes, I have a few ebooks,
Mm-hmm.
and some other books are coming up on Amazon in a few months. That has to do with mind, body, and balance, overall food and health balance. But I have my coaching and mentorship packages
Mm-hmm.
that somebody can benefit from, which is one-to-one mentorship and coaching for a month or for 3 months. And also it's on a daily basis. So this is my niche, I would say. My ideal clients are people who've been struggling with dieting and they can't find the balance they're searching for. And they need someone to teach them, someone who's been through, show them and teach them how to do it right without the fat diets part, without blaming them, without accusing, without body shaming them, or without bullying them, because these people have been through that. They don't need
trauma.
that. Exactly. So it's how to do it sustainably and balanced, but always with a focus on their lifestyle, their mission, their goals, not mine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's a fair way to start.
Mm-hmm.
So where would we be able to buy those books, those ebooks of yours?
On my website,
Yeah.
people can find my programs and some of the books. It's annacortesi.com. That's my website. People can find some of my videos on YouTube. And of course, follow me on my social media. If they search Anna Cortesi, they will find me everywhere. Yes.
And as far as I know, you've also got the Health Women's Club.
Yeah, the Healthy Woman Club.
Healthy Women Club.
Yeah, which is focusing on women entrepreneurs in the health and wellness industry. So it could be nutritionists and dietitians, doctors, physiotherapists, acupuncturists, any type of health and wellness job, I would say. Because I've been through a lot of I would say ventures in my life. So I've created magazines and books and supplements and my programs. So I know the right way of a woman in this field on how to do it. And also through my coaching with women, it's very easy for me to understand what a woman needs in this field. Yeah.
Oh,
Healthy Woman is just a platform where women can connect with each other in the health and wellness space and benefit from each other.
So it's like networking.
It's networking, yes, and it's networking, it's education, coaching, and just a safe space, a friendly space for like-minded women in the health and wellness.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, look, it sounds all very exciting. Especially, you started quite young. You've already got this drive, this expertise to share.
Yeah.
And I do wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
It has been a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a pleasure.
I'm really thrilled. And yes, we can do this again.
With pleasure. With pleasure. So please leave your comments below or any questions that you have. Please visit Anna Cortesi's website for updates and links that might help you. And stay tuned. Thank you for being with us.